Hey, you guys, Jamie Woodall here. Just want to say hi to you, and I hope you guys are enjoying the Acts series. I know we've really loved teaching through the book of Acts, and there's just so many cool things in the book of Acts that you can see, talking about the origin of the church and what is the church really, and just the admonition that Jesus gives to those that are truly followers of His to go and be His witnesses. And just wrapping up a little bit from this last weekend being in Acts 8, and want to point out two things that I thought were very significant from Acts 8. I know Norm went through this in Petoskey, and I got to go through this in Boyne City. And I know one part of it says, there was a great persecution that broke out. And because of that persecution, there were many that had to scatter and go different places. And so we asked the question in Boyne City, hey, was the persecution a good thing or was it a bad thing? And I think we can say yes, it was both. But the greatest thing was a good thing. And God caused that persecution, allowed that persecution to take place, because it says right here in verse 4 of Acts 8, it says, those who had been scattered preached the word wherever they went. Those who had been scattered preached the word wherever they went. And so I thought that was a really cool thing, that those who had scattered, what did they do? It turned into a great thing because they preached the word wherever they went. And that word preach the word actually means they shared the good news of Jesus. It wasn't just opening their Bibles and talking about the Old Testament. I mean, they really didn't have copies back then of the full Bible, but what they did do was they took the gospel, the good news of who Jesus was, that He came, He lived, He died, He rose again, so that others could put their faith and trust in Him and have new life, that He could be their rescue. And they took that message that Jesus was the Messiah, and they preached the word. They preached that message wherever they went. And it was through the persecution. So it was a very cool thing. The second thing I just want to point out for a minute that I think is really neat happens when Philip goes down to Samaria, and actually he goes down from Jerusalem to a place called Gaza, and he meets an Ethiopian official on that road to Gaza, and he actually ends up sharing the good news of Jesus with that Ethiopian eunuch, because the Ethiopian eunuch set a place in his life where he's ripe and he's ready to hear the message. And so it just has made me think that there are people around us everywhere. And there are some of those people who God has prepared their hearts. They're going through a difficulty, maybe a crisis in their life, or maybe they've lost a job, they've just been through an illness, or there's a health issue going on, or whatever. But their hearts are ripening up. And if we can open our eyes and realize that God miraculously at times brings us into contact with those who are ripe and ready to receive the good news of Jesus, then that is so key to understanding for them to come to a place where they receive Jesus Christ into their life from our verbal witness. So it's just important to realize that God's completely at work. He's continually at work around us, and He really wants us to recognize that He's lining up people around us. He's creating opportunities. If we'll just look around us and realize that He's bringing us into contact with people, just like Philip came in contact, and God specifically brought Philip in contact with the Ethiopian official. So, what's it boil down to? What's been really cool is just that God wants us to spread the good news of Jesus, Him coming and dying in our place and raising again to new life in order to rescue us, so that we could come to new life, and that then we could also share that with others. And that's a cool thing that I'm seeing in Acts, and I especially see in Acts 8. And I just want to thank you for joining us for our wrap-up, and want to invite you to the One Gathering. The One Gathering is coming up this Sunday. It's going to be 11 a.m. at the middle school, and it's going to be a very special time just celebrating the lives of others who have received the good news of Jesus. and then looking at Acts chapter 9, which is a very exciting chapter where Saul actually becomes a follower of Jesus, and is actually renamed shortly after that, or not renamed, but a new name is being used that signifies that he's a new creation in Christ, and the old things have passed away and all things have become new in Jesus. So I hope you're experiencing that life this week, that new life in Jesus, and I hope you're sharing it with others. And God's blessings on you, and hope to see all of you at the one gathering coming up at the middle school. Be a great time of coming together. Have a great week, and preach the word wherever you go. Preach the good news of Jesus in appropriate ways that connect with the lives of others. And God will help us do that through His Spirit. Have a great one.